Now on Coast TV News.
Will Parker Selby show? That is the question about the Milton State Rep as the Delaware General Assembly holds several hearings today in Dover. Ambulance fee increase, that is what is in Millville's budget proposal, while town officials say the cost for emergency services is going up.
This is Coast TV News Midday.
Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Elisa Weber and welcome to Coast TV News Midday. We are now going to take a live look outside at Dover this morning, and as we can see, it is windy outside. Our camera is shaking. Bob, it is a clear sky, but that sun is a little deceptive this morning.
Sure is, Elisa. It got a lot colder and windier this morning. At first we had the rain. Now it's a cold. Temperatures had not budged since early this morning. 42 from Salisbury up to Redden, 43 in Seaford, 41 in Ocean City, 43 in Bethany Beach. For a time there, we dipped into the upper 30s this morning, and the winds are howling, gusting 20 to over 30 miles per hour in Salisbury, gusting to 25 in Georgetown, 26 in Millsboro, 30 at IR Inlet, and it feels like temperatures down into the 30s. In fact, feels like freezing at Indian River Inlet and Ocean City. So it is cold. We have the sun. We had some clouds this morning. Now those clouds sinking farther south across Delmarva near Chincoteague right now, up near Ocean City. But farther to the north and west, we're in the sunshine. We'll be in the sunshine, but the cold air continues to funnel in behind a cold front, even some lake effect snow, just showing us how cold this air mass is. We're not going to see the snow, but we're going to see the cold and probably a hard freeze tonight. Here's Futurecast at noon, mid-40s with the windy conditions, not warming much today at all. Mid to upper 40s by 2 p.m., upper 40s. That's about it as we go into the afternoon, and the winds die down as we go through the evening hours. But cold, temperatures below average, those winds gusting up to 40 miles per hour. Make sure those outdoor items are secured. More on the cold, the freeze to come, and more rain chances for the end of the week. That's in my full forecast a little bit later on.
Thank you, Bob. And speaking of wind, right now, wind warnings are in effect on the Bay Bridge. MDOT says due to the weather, crews cannot set up two-way traffic. That means drivers could face delays during the afternoon and evening rush hour periods. We have developing news in Delaware. The General Assembly will be in session today. The question this morning, will District 20 Representative Democrat Stell Parker Selby be in attendance? So far this year, she has not, even though that session of the General Assembly started in January. We were told Parker Selby was only sworn in weeks ago, and this has created controversy. District 20, which covers Milton and parts of Lewis, has not had representation on votes in the House this year. In March, the Delaware Republican Party sent a letter to House Democratic leaders to address Parker Selby's absence. In November of 2024, Parker Selby was reelected to the House for a second term. And here's what we know about her situation. Parker Selby sent a letter stating she would not be present at Legislative Hall due to a medical event. Over 90 pieces of legislation have been voted in the House in 2025. Parker Selby has not voted on any of them. In developing news in Dewey Beach, as Coast TV has been reporting, Dewey is constructing a new town hall. Now there could be some changes in the amount of Sussex County government's contribution to help pay for it. In a memorandum of understanding received at the town council's meeting today, the county will give $1.5 million to the town hall. Earlier discussed, that figure at an event was $1 million. And here's why the county is contributing that amount for a projected estimated cost of over $11 million. The new town hall will also be home to Sussex County EMS. County officials say the lease agreement lasts for 30 years and includes 3 designated parking spaces. And we have an update on the story we have been covering out of Milton. After several months on limited action, the proposed Cool Spring Crossing development, a plan that includes over 1,200 single-family lots at the intersection of Route 9 and Cool Springs Road, appears to be on track for a public hearing in Sussex County. It has the attention of the Sussex Preservation Coalition. That organization has listed hearing documents on its website ahead of their meeting tonight in Lewis. The coalition claims the number of people moving into this new development would be a strain on local health care and educational systems. When we covered this story last year, we spoke to people living in the area about their concerns, and here's what one woman told us.
I think you can't stop growth. I think as long as the planners, the engineers do this properly, that we can all benefit.
Last December, we received this response from the marketing firm working with Cool Springs Crossing developer Carl M. Freeman Companies. Quote, "Our team is committed to environmental stewardship, traffic management, and promoting inclusive housing options." According to the county documents posted on the coalition website about the conditional use ordinance, that public hearing is scheduled for May 7th. And happening tonight, Millville's Town Council could vote to approve its fiscal year 2026 budget. Overall, that budget calls for over $2.2 million in expenses, an increase of about $15,000 from 2025. In terms of dollars, the biggest increase is payroll expenses. The proposed ambulance fee of $130,000 is nearly $11,000 more than the current budget. Millville officials say the need for more money is due to the increase in homes in the town. The new budget must be finalized by the end of the month. And after another troubling day on Wall Street, President Trump remains steadfast on his plans to raise tariffs on nearly every product imported into the U.S. The president is now threatening even harsher tariffs on China if that country doesn't back down in the escalating trade war. NBC's Alice Barr shows us all this as new tariffs are set to take effect on Wednesday.
This morning, growing fallout to President Trump's sweeping tariffs, from wild stock market swings to top business leaders sounding the alarm, including billionaire Trump backer Bill Ackman, warning of a potential self-induced economic nuclear winter and calling for a pause.
We're not looking at that. We have many countries that are coming to negotiate deals with us, and they're going to be fair deals.
President Trump adamant it's worth the pain to restore U.S. manufacturing and reshape global trade, meeting with Israel's prime minister, who promised to serve as a model.
We will eliminate the trade deficit with the United States. We intend to do it very quickly.
On Capitol Hill, Democrats highlighting the instability and rising consumer prices, calling the tariffs
a tax on the American people.
As many Republicans stand by President Trump,
I think you got to give the president the latitude.
Some are voicing concerns about the effects of high tariffs and a prolonged and widespread trade war.
That is going to be really bad for Texas and really bad for America.
Republicans are celebrating a Supreme Court ruling, throwing out a lower judge's order that blocked the Trump administration from deporting migrants under the rarely used wartime Alien Enemies Act. However, the justices ruled 5-4 that migrants must first be given due process, something immigration law experts say has been sorely lacking.
Offering absolutely no chance for people to go before any kind of decision maker and say, hey, you got the wrong guy.
The High Court also paused a separate order to return a man wrongly deported to an El Salvador prison. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Coming up after the break, DSU seeks state funding. We'll tell you why the school says help from the state government is long overdue. Delaware State University is hoping to score big as the state's 2026 fiscal year budget begins to take shape. The university is asking the state for $125 million for athletic upgrades and an additional $10 million for operational costs. The three-part plan includes a $25 million indoor field house, $10 million for a stadium and downtown facility upgrades, and a $9 million convocation center.
These athletic facilities that we're going to upgrade and we're going to build will have a tremendous economic impact on Dover and Kent County and Sussex County.
DSU says this long-awaited project is overdue, especially since the university's significant growth over the past 5 years. And new this morning in Georgetown, you can drop off unused or expired medication later this month. The police department says these medications are a public safety issue, and this is an official drop-off site. On April 26th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., people can stop by the department and give up those medications.
We're seeing whitecaps galore on the Indian River Bay as we do have gale warnings for these very strong winds. 44 in Ocean View, not climbing much as it stays windy and cold. We had the rain yesterday, now it's the cold and wind. And protect your plants for tonight because we're looking at an expected freeze on the way. More on that freeze warning coming up. Congratulations to Marilyn White from Daxboro. She has a brand new umbrella from CoastTV, and Paul Davis. I'll have last night's rain totals and more on the freeze warning coming up next in my full forecast. In the past 24 hours, we've gone from the rainy, raw conditions to sunshine, windy, and colder conditions. And that's exactly what we have on the FH Fair cam right now. You can see the little ripples of waves in the marina in Cambridge, 43, as the sailboats are waving back and forth in their slips, and for good reason. Those winds are really howling out there. And we're not going to warm up much today, maybe mid to upper 40s. That's it for highs as we go into the afternoon hours. But we had a much needed soaking last night and yesterday and this morning. 1.73 inches of rain for Millsboro and Stockley, 1.58 in Dagsboro, a little over an inch and a half in Slaughter Beach, 1.45 in Harbison Lewis, picking up 1.41 inches of rain, and the list goes on. Delmar over an inch and a half, just shy of an inch and a half at Indian River Inlet. Rehoboth and Seaford both picking up 1.39 inches. Georgetown 1.38, and over an inch and a third in Bethany Beach. It keeps the pollen down and the allergens, so definitely good to see the rain, but it is cold following the rain. We're only around 42 to 43 right now, 42 in Georgetown, Bethany Beach 43, Rehoboth at 42, and those winds are howling. They really ramped up quickly this morning, and now they're gusting over 30 miles per hour in Salisbury and Indian River Inlet, gusting to 30 in Seaford and 20 in Millsboro. So make sure those outdoor items are secured or brought inside, because they're going to be blowing around this afternoon, and feels like temperatures in the 30s. At times it feels like freezing, so bundle up out there. At least we're into full sunshine now on the visible satellite picture in Sussex County. Still some clouds off to the south near Chincoteague and points south. This is part of a cold front that continues to move to the south and east. We're watching that cold northwesterly flow, and in the lee of the lakes, it's lake effect snow from Cleveland up into New York, and full-blown snowstorm up into New England. Winter still going hot and heavy there as high pressure is building in, and as this high settles over us tonight, that will set the stage for that chance of seeing a freeze. Now, Futurecast into the afternoon keeps us windy at noon in the mid-40s, mid to upper 40s, maybe by 2 p.m. with mid-40s at the coast. So by 5, it's in the upper 40s, but with that wind, it's feeling more like upper 30s. Overnight, the winds start to diminish and temperatures will tumble. By 6 a.m., we're around 30 to 32 degrees away from the coast, maybe some upper 20s, especially if the winds totally die down, and near freezing at the coast, and lots of sunshine into Wednesday, but another chilly day with 40s to low 50s, and maybe another frost into Thursday morning, as we're seeing these gusty winds 35 to 40 miles per hour today. Then they start to lighten up as we go through the overnight, and maybe not totally calm tomorrow morning, and that could really save us from temperatures really tumbling. But a freeze warning across Sussex County, excluding the coast, but even there you want to protect your plants. Salisbury to the coast also under that freeze warning, as is the eastern shore, as we're looking at that hard freeze, that long icicle tomorrow morning, and even a frost possible into Thursday. Then it's unsettled into Thursday and later Friday. In fact, it looks like a washout Friday. We're going to see a storm developing along the coast that will keep our weather unsettled, I think, Saturday. Looks like Sunday could be a little drier. Paul Davis, 7-day forecast, 48 with the wind today, 29 tonight, only 52 Wednesday, still a little frosty Thursday morning, up to 57 Thursday, and then the showers build in later Thursday. Friday looks rainy. It could be kind of wet for Passover on Saturday, 58, drier on Palm Sunday, and a high of 57.
Thank you, Bob, and here's what's coming up this afternoon on Coast Life.
Coming up on Coast Life, we have a great program for you today. We're going to have a great debate. Leah and I might slightly disagree on the topic of spring cleaning and whether it is or is not stressful. Plus, why pajamas and a party of pajamas is going to help people raise a little bit of money around town, and college scholarship grants. That's something we're looking at as well. Got to help those kids get to school. Stick around. Coast Life is coming up later today.
Florida is back on top of the college basketball world.
On Monday night, the Florida Gators defeated Houston to claim the NCAA men's basketball championship. Florida overcame a 12-point deficit in the second half to rally and win the third title in program history. And coming up tonight on DSN, we will have the Shorebirds home opener at 7, and then it's the final score at 10:30. And on the DSN Plus app at 4:15, you can watch Tower Hill play Tattenall in boys lacrosse. At 5:30, it's girls soccer when Sussex Tech hosts Delmar. And also at 5:30, boys lacrosse with Cape at home against Broadneck. We will be right back. New lodging and rental taxes may be finding room in the city of Lewis. At a Monday night public hearing, city officials gave updates on two new accommodation taxes. One would be a 2% lodging tax on hotels. The other would tax short-term and long-term rentals at 5.5%. City officials say the proposed taxes would give visitors a way to contribute to the city's funds. CoastTV went to Lewis to learn what people think about these proposals, and here's what one woman told us.
I don't think it's going to make a difference. People will pay what it costs. It's a very desirable place to come and visit. You know, it's a great community. There's a lot of history here.
And there is no clear date set for the City Council on a decision, but the written comment period is until May 2nd at 4 p.m.
The Bay held cam right now in Milford bouncing around a little bit with those strong winds. 42 right now, only warming into the mid to maybe upper 40s. Bundle up this afternoon and protect your plants tonight. We're expecting a freeze on the way. A freeze warning right through the morning hours. Call the CoastTV First Alert weather phone, another way to get your forecast. Sponsored by the law offices of Brockstead, Mandalis, Federico. Your 10-day forecast is coming up next. It's feeling more like winter out there instead of early spring. Bundle up, lots of sunshine, but windy and cold. Mid to upper 40s for highs. Those winds gusting over 40 miles per hour. Winds start to diminish tonight, and protect your plants before you go to bed. Bring them in or cover them up. 29, a hard freeze tomorrow morning. Paul Davis 10-day forecast. 52 Wednesday. It's going to be frosty again into Thursday morning. Protect your plants then. Warms up towards the end of the week. Showers later Thursday. Friday looks like a washout. And then Saturday, Passover could be a little wet, 58. I think it dries out on Sunday, and then warmer, looks a little quieter into next week.
Bob, and thank you for joining us here for CoastTV News Midday. And for more news and local weather, download our CoastTV News app. Don't forget to join us for CoastTV News at 5 later this afternoon. Have a great day.